When a Muslim passes away, their guardian must give the body ghusl. They must also apply a fragrant substance called camphor. They must shroud the body and also perform a special prayer for the deceased, and then bury them. The guardian has to either do these things themselves or ask someone else to do them. If there is no guardian or the guardian refuses, then it becomes a collective responsibility for all mature, sane Muslims in the community. If no one does these acts, then everyone would have committed a sin. A man cannot give ghusl to a woman who is not his mahram, and a woman cannot give ghusl to a man who is not her mahram. However, a husband and wife can give ghusl to one another. It is also haram to look at the private parts of a dead body, except in the case of a husband and wife. The person who gives ghusl to the dead body must be a sane Muslim who knows the rules of ghusl. It is obligatory to wash a dead body 3 times in this order. Number 1, a ghusl with water that has been mixed with Sidr leaves or powder. Some have said Sidr is from a lot tree. 2, a ghusl with water that has been mixed with camphor, known as Camphor in Arabic. 3, a ghusl with pure unmixed water. The amount of Sidr leaves and Camphor added to the water must be just right. It should not be so much that the water becomes thick or mixed, and it should not be so little that it seems like nothing was added at all. The method of performing ghusl for a dead body is the same as ghusl for janaba. First, make sure all clothing is removed from the body, then place a piece of cloth large enough to cover the private parts. Remove any jewelry and clean any najasa or obstacles without harming the body. Before starting the ghusl, you can wash the entire body to ensure that there are no impurities or bleeding. All those involved in performing the ghusl must have the niyyah, the intention of seeking nearness to Allah while carrying out the ritual. Now, begin the first ghusl using water mixed with Sidr. Thoroughly wash the head and neck first. Then, wash the right half of the body, including the back right side. After that, wash the left half of the body, including the back left side. When washing the private parts during the ghusl, pour the water under the cloth, covering the private parts, ensuring the cloth remains in place and does not move to expose the body. Now, proceed with the second ghusl using water with camphor. Following the same method, start by washing the head and neck, then wash the right side of the body, and finally wash the left side of the body. For the third ghusl, which is performed with pure water, follow the same method. Wash the head and neck first, then wash the right side of the body, and finally wash the left side of the body. Now, you should get some powdered fresh camphor that has fragrance and perform the Hunut. Apply camphor on the 7 places of prostration: the forehead, both palms, both knees, and the tips of the big toes of the body. Additionally, it is recommended to apply camphor on the tip of the nose. Now, the body of the deceased Muslim must be shrouded with 3 pieces of cloth. The first cloth must cover from the navel to the knees based on obligatory precaution. However, it is better if it covers the area from the chest down to over the feet. When this is done, you can now remove the piece of towel that was covering the private parts from underneath the first cloth. The second cloth, based on obligatory precaution, must cover from the top of the shoulders to the middle of the calf, and it is better that it reaches over the feet. The third cloth must be long enough to cover the entire body. According to obligatory precaution, its length must be long enough for both ends to be tied at the head and feet, and its width must be wide enough for one side to overlap the other when wrapped around the body. If any part of the shroud becomes najis at any time, it must be washed or cut out from the cloth. It is the husband's responsibility to provide the shroud for his wife, even if she has her own wealth.